Liverpool 6 points clear through 10 matches. Liverpool facing Aston Villa on the weekend, no surprise. Liverpool massive favourites to win, even away from home. Should be noted the big talking point here, Jurgen Klopp hinting he could rest Fabinho. Fabinho 1 yellow card away from a 1-match suspension. The next match after this one for Liverpool, November 10th against Manchester City. Stevie, the right decision then?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
It's not looking down your nose a little bit at Villa?
No, not at all.
All I've heard is how important Fabinho is to this team all season.
He is important, but there's 10 other people that are as important as well. And the fact is that if there's a game that Liverpool need him over another game, it's City, as opposed to Aston Villa, who, with not just Fabinho out, should be good enough to win the game. That's called being smart. That's not looking down your nose at anybody. That's managing the season and looking at your upcoming fixtures and what's best going forward. This is just being smart. It's certainly not disrespecting Aston Villa. It's called brains.
Shaka?
I'm totally in agreement. Listen, you have the choice, you rest him. The City game, I mean, if it's looking down your nose, so to speak, it's in comparing Villa and Manchester City and the importance of those games. And I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out which one is the more important.
Well, that's what big clubs do, though, isn't it?
Got a deep squad.
Yeah.
Might
That's
as well
what
use
they do.
it.
They figure out. They figure out where they think the percentages are of the easier games. Villa, a promoted side, and not a bad side, but they're a promoted side. So then you pick and choose when you're going to rotate. Klopp's he's been going on all week about the fixture problem, the congestion problem they've got now with the Carabao Cup and all that. He's been talking about it, saying, "Well, we might have to forgo that competition." So he's really juggling at the moment. And look, Man City takes priority next week over Villa this week.
Well, what you don't want is, in the previous league game, you're sending Fabinho out to get booked. So he misses the Villa game. That, I think, is bringing the game into disrepute. Resting a player for a game like Villa with the second title favourites coming up, it makes perfect sense.
We keep mentioning Manchester City. They're going to face Southampton. This is literally a matchup of the haves and the have-nots. Look at that.
I can feel my hamstring coming on already.
City has more goals than anybody else in the Premier League. Southampton has conceded more goals than anybody else in the Premier League, obviously coming off that 9-0 shellacking against Leicester City.
So if you put $14 on, you win one.
Yeah. Is that good economics? City, by the way, to score 3.5 goals or more are even money in this match.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
that's
Well,
wild.
it was 3-1 in midweek in the cup. I'm going to. All right, go on.
Speaking of goalies, know a thing or two about battling City. Ben Foster, of course, the victim in that 8-0 against City in September. The Watford goalie had this to say: "As a goalie coming here in the first place, it's almost an achievement to keep it at 1 or 2 goals." All right, let's go from one goalie to another. Shaka.
Yeah?
What's the number that City scores this week?
I am going to go for 5.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
All right, he's taking the over.
Can I take your 5?
Yes.
Listen, I'll
Well,
be
I'm going to have to go over that then.
Wait, would that count as a response from Southampton?
I mean, I'm so.
It's better than 9.
It's just a whole lot better
Well, put it
than
one
9.
way: if I was a charity in the Southampton area, I'd be going knocking on doors, see if they're going to give away any more money after this weekend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The players get back their wages.
You get 5 or 6, you don't start to celebrate. But let's be honest. I mean, for Southampton, this couldn't have come at a worse time, and I fear for the worst. Honestly,
For Southampton, it's about how they lose. Basically.
That's not a good way to go into a match.
You can lose by being brave and giving it a go and working hard, and you just get beaten by a better team. Or you can do what they did against Leicester and just throw the towel in. So we know they're going to get beat. It's how they lose.
I just
that's
wonder
the important thing.
if it is another. There's a few ifs here. If it is a real heavy one, whether Hasenhüttl falls on his sword.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more can you take?
Yeah. It's only 2 weeks, but
it is.
it's a bad 2
You've got to
weeks.
balance it up then. Then it's Man City. What do we expect it, or is it just he's lost the dressing room? I mean,
There has to come a point with Southampton where they realise that maybe it's the players that we've brought in that are the problem. Because how many managers they had in the last 4 or 5 years? What, 4 or 5? So eventually you've got to figure out that it's not actually about the guy coaching them. It's about, I've given him a group of players. They just ain't very good.
Well, if we stop selling them to Liverpool.
Well, we'll take the good ones. We'll take the good ones, and they can
Don't stop selling the good ones to Liverpool, whatever you do.
keep the ones they've got there.
You don't want any? Do you want any of the ones that are? No.
No.
You can have all of them.
No,
Go
you
on.
can.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.